Hey, welcome in to week 9 of the Northwest Georgia Football High School Pick'em Show. Joined by Benton Burge once again. Man, we got 4 Friday nights left.
Phew, crazy. And then the playoffs already. Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Just want to win a game.
Yeah, man. I'm on a streak, man. 2 upset picks in a row, man. I'm going for 3 in a row tonight. I got it.
All right, he's on the streak and he's got it. I hope Eric gets on here because he's doing a little streaking himself. We're going streaking. You're my boy Blue. Anyway, I'll quit being crazy and we'll throw up this week's games and take a
Yeah,
look.
yeah. If you want to give us your opinion, man, you can join us on Facebook, Twitter. Um, yeah, we'll get your picks up here live on the air.
Yeah, I mean, you can call in there, comment, say y'all crazy. No way I'd pick that. We'll take anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, man. We'll start with the big boys. Chapel Hill at Carrollton. Carrollton is a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I think the Trojans win this one at home pretty easily, pretty quickly, get their backups in.
Yeah, I like Carrollton in this one. Man, Carrollton's on a roll right now. Paulding County at Osborne. Paulding County is a 12-point favorite.
You know, I don't know if it's the first time, but looking down through here, I think all the Paulding County schools are favored. I like Paulding County in this one. I think it's probably going to be about the 1 to 2 score game. So 12, pretty good. I'll take Paulding County by, 10 to 13.
Yeah, I know Paulding County's record doesn't look too good right now, man, but they played a heck of a schedule. A lot of talent on that team. I think this is a week for them to get in the win column. I like Paulding County on the road. East Paulding at Alexander. East Paulding, a 15-point favorite.
Yet again, I like the Paulding County team. I like East Paulding here. And 2 scores sounds about right against Alexander.
Yeah, East, they're still battling for a playoff spot there in that region. I like East Paulding. East Paulding by 15. New Manchester at Villa Rica. New Manchester, just a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see that they were just a 5-point favorite. And hot off the press, Villa Rica 21-14. He says, "I tell you what, it's at Villa Rica. I'm going to take New Manchester in a single score game. I think it's a 1-score game."
I'm gonna go with the Wildcats here. It's not my upset pick of the week, but I'm gonna agree with Eric. I think being at home, I think the Wildcats get it done.
Probably a wise decision.
Kennesaw Mountain at South Paulding. South Paulding is 11-point favorite.
Yeah, I like South Paulding in this game. I think South Paulding, they've had their struggles, but I think they get a win at home this week against Kennesaw Mountain.
Yeah, I think South Paulding's still in that hunt for a playoff spot there in that region. It's going to be a battle between them, Villa Rica, East Paulding, Alexander still in the hunt. I like South Paulding in this one. Rome Wolves, man, finally going on the road, going to Lithia Springs, 35-point favorites.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rome had their backups in before halftime. Rome played a very good, complete game last week, and I think Rome is just kind of getting the ball rolling, getting ready for the playoffs at this point. I'm not sure that anybody in that region is going to have anything to say to Rome. So, home or away.
Yeah, I like Rome at this point, man. I feel like they're getting it going too. Scott, our stat guy, he puts up all these stats every week, and Rome is one of the top teams in all the stat categories right now. I think they're going to be dangerous come postseason. I don't see a bump in the road here on the road. I like Rome. Dalton at Cedartown. Very important playoff positioning game in that region. Dalton looks like the team that could get in, man. 2-point favorite at Cedartown.
I watched both of these teams a good bit this year. I just don't know if Cedartown has enough offense I think Dalton is going to be able to score some points, and they get up and down the field sometimes like a track meet, throwing the ball around, They got some good receivers. I think the City of Town will be able to match for a certain amount of time, but I like Dalton to win this one in a close one.
Yeah, man, that Dalton offense is tough to stop. If you can't stop them, man, you're going to have to put up 49, 56 points yourself. I don't see Cedar Town at this point being able to put up those kind of points. I like Dalton. Cross Keys at Southeast Whitfield. Southeast Whitfield, a big 35-point favorite.
Yeah, no offense to either team here, but I thought this was a misprint. And I went and did some looking, and I think, Southeast deserves that. They played a lot closer to a few games where they could have won. Some would say maybe should have won. I don't know, but I like them to get a big win here at home against Cross Keys and going away.
Yeah, I think I glanced at Cross Keys, man, when we were preparing, and I think they've scored 14 points all season.
Yeah.
Haven't played the toughest of schedules. I like what Southeast Whitfield's got going up there, man. Yeah, like you said, they've played a lot of games close.
I think they're more likely. What do you think?
Yep.
I'll go 0 up.
Yeah, I'm going with the with Southeast Whitfield there. The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Woodland at Hiram. I think Hiram's locked into the playoff spot there. 31-point favorites.
Yeah, I think Hiram, like you said, they're not looking towards the playoffs, but they are at the same time. Hiram just got too much. I don't think Woodland will be able to hang around. I like Hiram to win this one.
Yeah, I think Coach Scott and what he's done down there at Hiram, man, a great job. They've quietly gone about taking care of business. Looking to be in the 3 spot in that region heading into postseason. I like Hiram. Alatoona at Cartersville. Cartersville, 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to convince me to pick against Cartersville for a while, if any, this year. So Cartersville, pretty big here.
Yeah, Eric's saying Alatoona keeps it close, man. 28-14. I don't see it.
He's been right a lot of times, but I just don't feel that one coming.
Yeah, I think Cartersville wins by whatever they want to win by. I say probably 28. Dawson County at White County. Dawson County, a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Dawson County has been one of those teams right on the edge of it this year. Took a few losses to the chin. I think they're good enough to get a win at White. I like Dawson in a close one here.
Yeah, I think Dawson got in the win column in the region last week with a win at Johnson. I like Dawson here. Coach Shaw. Huge game here, man. Probably the game of the week in Northwest Georgia. Pro Bowl region championship game. Calhoun by 7 at Northwest Whitfield.
Yeah. Are you going to get the Northwest Whitfield team that won like 40-something-0 over? It was a Heritage that they beat. I think it was that bad. That somebody. Who do you get here? I think it's going to be a pretty good game. It's at Northwest. That gives them a little bit of an advantage that you don't have to go to the Reeve. I just think Calhoun is too tough and will have enough to beat Northwest. And, I'm going to say Calhoun covers. I think it's a 10-point to 14-point game here.
Yeah, two very good teams, man, that are going to be dangerous in the postseason. Both have great offense. Both play good defense. Like you said, man, Calhoun is just an elite team. State champion. I'm going with the Yellow Jackets. Johnson at Lumpkin. Lumpkin, a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I think this is pretty simple. Lumpkin is going to have too much. They'll be – and it's just a much better team right now, so I like Lumpkin to win this one pretty easy.
Yeah, the leading rusher from the 54 teams we cover, Nolan Matthews, man, he's already over, 1,100 yards on the year. I think he has a big first half. Lumpkin, easy by halftime. Daresville at Ridgeland. Daresville is a 9-point favorite.
Yeah, I took a look at this game, and I think I've said it multiple times. I like the skill that Ridgeland can put out there and ability to score points. I know they got a win over Darlington earlier in the year, a big one. Adairsville kind of been finding their way here as of late. Early kind of struggled a little bit. It's at Ridgeland. Man, I'm going to go with Adairsville, but I think it's closer than the 9. And I would not be surprised if Ridgeland wins this game.
Yeah, I think this is a big game for the Tigers, man, because I got to doing the math in 7-3A. And if them and Gilmer keep taking care of business, it'll come down to the final week of the season. Adairsville Gilmer for that 4th playoff spot. Tigers need a win here, though. On the road at Ridgeland, I like Adairsville, but it's going to be closer than the 9. Chastity at Pickens. Pickens a 2-touchdown favorite.
Yeah, I think Pickens gets the win here. Battle tested, won some big games. I like Pickens at home.
Yeah, I'll take Pickens in the 14. North Hall at GAC, man. We throw a little North Hall one in here for our 6 AAA fans out there.
Yeah.
This is probable region championship game. North Hall 11-point favorite.
I think North Hall wins this one, but I think it might be. I'm thinking a little bit less than the 11. Maybe a 1-score game, maybe 10.
Yeah, GAC knocked off Lumpkin earlier this year, man. Put them in this position to play for the region title. I just like that offense that North Hall has, man. Balanced. Got the 2nd leading quarterback in the state. They can run the ball, play defense. I like the Trojans by more than 11. Lafayette at Gilmer. If you like to see the ball ran, this is the game to go to, man. Gilmer 18-point favorites.
Yeah, I think Gilmer's going to be good enough here to get the win at home. They've been pretty solid. Nothing against Lafayette. I just think that Gilmer has a little more at this point.
Yeah, I think as far as time of game, man, this might be your fastest game of the weekend right here. It's going to be a lot of running the football, a lot of 3- and 4-yard gains, moving the sticks. I like Gilmer here, but I think it's going to be closer than the 18. Murray County at Coahulla Creek. Coahulla Creek, a big 17-point favorite.
Yeah, when you take a look at both of these records, Coahulla been successful at times. Murray got a couple wins. I think it's an interesting game. I like Coahulla to win this one. A couple touchdowns.
Oh, Ben taking notes over there, man. I'm worried. He's got the notepad out.
Yeah, I got the notepad
out. Man, I like what Coahulla Creek did last week. They hung around with LFO for a couple of quarters. Actually, had that game pretty tight late. And same with Murray County. I mean, they played North Cobb Christian well last Friday night. I like Coahulla in this one. I think it's going to be closer than the 17. Huge game right here, man, in that region. North Murray still undefeated. 12-point favorites at Ringgold.
I seen that Ringo Rockmart game earlier in the year, and they were able to slow the offense down a little bit. Man, I kind of almost wanted to pick this one as my upset pick of the week. It's at Ringo. North Murray's kind of been the shining team so far out of these two. I think it's going to be a close game, but I just don't know if Ringo's going to slow down, Justin Petty and the guys enough. I think you could see this even be like a 3-point game or an overtime game. Give me North Murray on this one.
Yeah, Hudson Hewlett's the name, man. You keep saying Petty. You still stuck a couple of years ago, but
I keep saying Petty. Yeah, I apologize.
They keep bringing them back year after year after year, man. They've been loaded for the 8 years I've been here at the quarterback spot. For sure.
At least I'm not calling them the guy that's
Lad McConkey.
Yeah. At least I'm not that far back in the brain and the way back machine.
But yeah, man, it's tough. Ringgold has played a heck of a schedule in that region. I mean, they've already played Rockmart, LFO. It seems like week after week, man, they're playing a top team. I like the Tigers. They're at home, but I think North Murray has just enough to get it done. I think it's going to be kind of like last year, man, a 1-point game. I'm gonna go with the Mountaineers. LFO at Sonoraville, man. Two teams still looking for an automatic playoff berth. LFO is a 2-point favorite.
Man, this could be the game to watch offensively. You know, both of these teams can put up points. At the Furnace, you know, is a tough place to play. I believe Sonoraville could shock LFO right here, even though it's just a 2-point spread. I think Sonoraville defense may be just a tad better. Sonoraville, really athletic team. LFO, a really athletic team going over there. This is not going to be my upset pick of the week, but I have a hankering that Sonoraville was going to pull it out here at home. So I'm going to give Sonoraville in a close one.
I mean, since we've been doing NWGA football, this is the 8th year. LFO has always has the Sonoraville's number, man. For whatever reason, LFO has been a thorn in the Phoenix side, man, for 8 years now. And I like LFO here at Sonoraville. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, probably the over-under 70 points. I'll go the over. I like LFO 49-42. Rockmart on the road at North Cobb Christian. Rockmart is a 24-point favorite.
You know, the North Cobb Christian team is not a bad team. It's on the road there. I think Rockmart is they're rolling. I like Rockmart to win this one going away.
Yeah, I feel much about like Rockmart as we talked about Rome earlier, man. They just got it rolling right now. Going to be heck in the postseason. I like the Yellow Jackets here. I think they cover the 24.
I agree.
Chattooga at Christian Heritage. Christian Heritage is a 28-point favorite.
Funny enough, the second week in a row that Chattooga's been a 28-point dog. Last week against Fannin, they were 28-point dog. Very interesting game here. I think you're seeing the 28-point spread because of how the first 3 or 4 games went for Chattooga. I have my notepad out because I want to make sure I had this stat for you. First three games of the year, Chattooga averaged 120 yards a game on the ground. Since, they've averaged 277 and a half. Whatever was infused into the offense is big time, and it's been physical. And that's what's going to happen here. Christian Heritage can put up the points. You got to value possessions because I think Chattooga, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had a stat on the post game that maybe Fannin had the ball for a little over 2 minutes in the entire second half last week. And if you have to punt or you turn the ball over, and Chattooga can hold the ball like that, I mean, that's the recipe for them to get a win. With all that being said, I think I like Christian Heritage in a close one, closer than the 28, maybe somewhere more like 10 or 14.
Yeah, after all you just said there, everything you let me look for my button over here right quick. There we go. Man, I have liked what Chattooga's done the last couple of weeks, with that big offensive line. I think if they just keep running behind them big boys, they'll get it done. Eric agrees with me. Chattooga 28-21. It'd be a huge win up there at Christian Heritage. They're going to have to get after Charlie Baxter, though, man, if they want to slow Christian Heritage down. I like Chattooga here. The upset of the week, upset of the year.
I don't know if we've ever had back-to-back 28-point upsets. Hey, there's a first time for everything.
Gordon Lee at Armurchie. Gordon Lee, 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Gordon Lee is a better team here. I think Armurchie's going to battle at home, but I just think Gordon Lee's got too much. Pretty solid team here, looking to be the region champ coming up.
Yeah, I said last week on the show that I'd be more surprised if Gordon Lee beat Dade County by 35 than if Dade kept the game within 17.
Yeah,
Gordon Lee took care of that pretty quick, man. It was 35-0 at halftime.
I could not believe it. I was honestly shocked.
Yeah, I think Gordon Lee is rolling, man. They're kind of playing like we expected them to at the beginning of the year. I like Gordon Lee big in this one.
The only concern that I have, going forward with Gordon Lee is, did they play with their food a little bit? I know they have Fannin at the end of the year, but come playoff time, they're going to see some better teams. I think Coach will have them prepared, and they got the talent to play with some better teams. So I like Gordon Lee, and this one's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with Rockmart for all those years, man. They just rolled through the region, and they always seem ready come playoff time.
Yeah.
Model at Pepperell. Model looking to be a spoiler, man. Pepperell has their sights on Heard County for the region championship. Pepperell a 27-point favorite.
Man, Pepperell, I mean, is there a hotter team than the Dragons right now? I mean, earlier in the year, they took a couple lumps, but they've really, they got their cut man in there, putting some ice and some stuff on those cuts. And, man, Pepperell's been sweet lately. They throwing the jabs and the uppercuts and the right hand, left hand. They got some combinations going. They're knocking people out. And at home this week, I think they get another knockout right here, TKO. So Pepperell keeps rolling. Hey, like you said, they got some games left on the schedule. I think they will. Do they still? You said they still play Heard County coming down.
Yeah, they have Heard down the road for the region championship. It looks like
tells me that's going to be a very interesting
Yeah,
game.
Model hung with Haralson County last week, man. Pretty close game through 3 quarters.
I heard that they were up after 3 quarters, and Haralson scored like 24 in the fourth or something like that.
Yeah, and you can't count out a Coach Honeycutt defense, especially with a rival game here, big Floyd County school rivalry. At Pepperell, I like the Dragons, but I think Model keeps it within 27. Darlington at Heard County. Speaking of Heard County is a 35-point favorite.
Yeah, I was listening to the guys down there at WLAQ talk about this game. They didn't pick the game because they always call this game. Matt down there, he's done a good job used to be, with Rome News, now with WLAQ, and for the Darlington Tigers. I think Heard is just too much athletically. It'll be too much for Darlington. A lot of people put it on Darlington's struggles on the offensive style. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just playing, some pretty good teams, and it's just tough sledding right now. I think Heard County wins this one going away.
Yeah, this is a tough place to go, man, if you're trying to turn your season around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charles and his group will be down there rocking, man. I know Charles will be blowing on the horn a whole bunch of times Friday night, man. Heard County big in this one. Temple at Haralson County. Haralson County is a 12-point favorite.
Now, I hate to keep beating a dead horse about Temple, but I don't understand. I mean, it was the highest scoring team, and then all of a sudden, it got real difficult for them. And I think it's another difficult game. I think Haralson has shown the ability to win these games, and I think they're going to win this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won it by more than 12.
Yeah, this is a game I considered as my upset pick of the week, man, just because you keep expecting Temple to break out at some point, man. They were, averaging 60 points a game earlier in the year. They've only scored 14 over the last 3 weeks. The Haralson defense is too good, though. I don't think they're a team that you can break out on offensively. Charles thinks Haralson wins by at least 24. I like Haralson, maybe by the 12. region championship here, man. Impressive Mount Zion team, probably the surprise of 2025. Best defense in our 54 team area, points per game wise anyway. At Bowden, Bowden is a 26-point favorite.
You know, I've had one of these games that I think is going to be similar in my mind before. When Bowden was, I think, making the short trip down to Bremen, and I thought it could be a close game, and it did not turn out that way. I like this Mount Zion team. I've seen them a few times. They hammered Chattooga earlier in the year. They beat a good Trine team, although I think Trine was without their quarterback. But I just don't think they're on the same level as Bowden. I think Bowden covers the 26 here, and I think they flexed their muscles again, kind of like they did against Bremen earlier in the year.
Yeah, I picked Bowden in the Pickem, man. If you guys are in our Pickem, it was an easy choice for me. I got sold when I went down there and saw Bowden and Bremen live, man. I was just like, man, this Bowden team is incredible. I think they have a lot more size than Mount Zion, possibly more speed. I think Mount Zion's a good team. They're going to be tough playoff time. They get to host first round, which is huge for them. But I like Bowden in this one. Give me Bowden and the 26. Westbrook Christian, Alabama, 4-1 team from over in the Gadsden area, coming to Trine. Westbrook is a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, if you know anything about the North Alabama football there, your Powers or your Fife, Piedmont, and such and such. Piedmont happens to be the only team that this Westbrook Christian team has lost to. They've putting up the points right now. They beat Glencoe 44-7. They beat Sachs, which is always an athletic team, 42-6. 53 points on Locust Fork. They scored 27 on that Piedmont team. 49-0 over Mumford. Beat Ohatchee 48-0. Coming to Trine, it's hard sometimes to know how those small to the middle size to smaller schools like this are going to match up with the Georgia teams just because of the size of the schools. Trine is one of the, a relatively small school, but with a good tradition. I do not know if Trine's quarterback will be back. I know it really puts them against the 8 ball if he's not. This team is going to come in here and throw it around. Quarterback, about 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, something like that, no picks. Pretty good player here after, 5 or 6 games. But here I am again. With all that being said, I just don't think that they're going to come in here and just push Trine around. I don't think they will. And I think at home, Trine's going to be tough if they got the quarterback back. My upset pick of the week right here, I know it's only 3 points, but I like Trine, and 21-17 would work for me in a close one.
Man, I had my mind made up before you started talking. You were trying to sell me on Westbrook Christian. I didn't know anything about them other than their record coming in.
Yeah.
And you started telling me all those stats, man. I was like, well, But I like Georgia high school football versus Alabama. I like the Trine Bulldogs. I think, coming off a loss last week, man, I know Coach got them ready to play this Friday night. They're at home. Got something to prove. Trine's not the type of team that's going to hang their tail between their legs. I think they're going to come out and get it done Friday night.
I like it. So that's all of our games. Just a quick comment and a question for you. This is kind of off the rip. I know we hadn't talked about it, but they pretty much set in stone now what they're going to do next year as far as classification wise. One question I have, and we'll have to look into it and see what they end up doing, but how are they going to split the regions that have Darlington and Pepperell and Hurd and those guys Will some of those come back to the northern region? Will they stay down there in that region? How are they going to split it up? I heard rumors last time that the Floyd County schools, they wanted them to be in the same region. I don't know how all that's going to bust up. One would imagine that Christian Heritage and Gordon Lee is going to disappear out of this northern region. Who knows what happens to Fannin? They'll probably stay in this if they can. So that'll take this region down a little bit. That's going to be very interesting to me. Everything else is pretty much cut and dry. I mean, the small schools like Trine and those guys will be down in 1A, but I really don't know how. There's a guy that would know. North Alabama football. Westbrook is good. Yeah, Coach Smith, big man, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he at Piedmont forever? Pretty sure he won a bunch of games at Piedmont, and now he's at Westbrook Christian. So good coach.
I guess. Yeah, I haven't really looked much into the new GHSA ruling other than the fact that there's no auto qualifiers next year, except for the region champion.
Yes.
They're the only ones that qualify.
A bunch of people are asking me what I thought about it, and I think it's good because I think you're going to get a better playoff system because you're not going to have those teams like we might see in the second round, Thomas County Central versus Rome. You'll see that later on in the playoffs, which is where you should see it. You know what I mean? And you won't see the 1 win or no win playoff teams unless somehow or another they have the points, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they have to mess with the formula, though. I thought the power formula they have right now works pretty good. It's pretty balanced. From what I understand, the new power formula gives more points to wins than it does anything else, man. So it's going to have a lot of schools scrambling to try to find those 0-10 teams to play.
There's only so many. But, I mean, honestly, they should find a way to balance out if you beat an 0-10 team and you lose to a 9-2 team or 8-2 team, and it shouldn't be that much of a variance. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that I could look into.
Yeah, which now the way the power formula is set up, it does that. It gives you more credit for losing to an 8-2 than it does for beating an 0-10.
Yeah, because I know we talked about it. Somebody was asking me how could Chattooga get in the playoffs still, and I said, cheer for Fannin County, cheer for Armurchie.
Yeah.
If they keep reeling off wins, that's just going to help their points. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm sure once they roll it out and we have regions and all that, we'll do some shows about it. But I
Absolutely
just interesting to comment about. So, did you? You're off this week, right?
Yes, sir.
So where are you headed? You headed to Ringo, North Murray?
Yes, sir.
So this will be your third trip to Ringo this year.
Third one after 0 previously.
Yeah. No, we went to Ringo for a padded camp one year.
Yeah, we watched at 7-on-7 that year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's right, 7-on-7. Yeah, that was before they started the padded stuff up.
But yeah, man, everybody get out tomorrow night. It's gonna be nice. It actually feels fallish. Get out and support these kids, these coaches, bands, cheerleaders, concession stand, and we'll be back on tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
We here at Northwest Georgia Football would like to thank you for watching. Please join us again soon.